right now, as Fatboy Slim would say. On the upper side of the map, we're going to be starting with Axiom Esports. Of course, they are playing as Axiom Acer here for the SC2 ITL. It's our Blue Zerg player, it's Impact. Now, I'm so excited to see a little bit of Impact ZVT. He's just so good at ZVT, right? You know, back when he came second place at DreamHack, he was showcasing some kind of amazing ZVT back then. And just excited to see it. I remember in the Winter Series he played a couple of weeks ago, or I actually think he played in week 1, so it was about a month ago now. He showcased some really nice ZVT then against Jachi. If you guys were watching the rebroadcast earlier, you might have caught one of those matches. So really excited to see Impact as the starter here, and especially going up against a Terran player. A Terran player who can definitely take games off of top Korean players. A Terran player who can definitely compete. It's iaguz here on the lower side of the map. He is our red Terran player. Alright, so getting started here, getting set up into this game, as iaguz is already setting up his initial barracks in a very interesting position. So he's setting this up so this Reaper can head across the map as soon as possible. If he wants to go for a Reaper at all, that is, I thought he was going to, but that being said, he doesn't take a gas, so okay, now he does. Kind of an interesting start though then. 13 gas generally isn't the gas you go for Reaper on there. We see Impact opening with a pool first, and this is something we see all of the time here on Varney Research Station. Maru at the weekend at IEM was using 2 Rax Reaper builds on this map quite frequently, or just kind of proxied out on the map as well. I think we saw earlier Supernova. He went for a proxy on this map as well in Winter Series, and that was what led into the mech game. I just think it's so popular on this map. It's a very solid map to do it on, especially with Reapers, because you've just got so much space to jump in and out of this main base. You can get a lot done, and always keep them Reapers alive. So I think it's pretty much just given that a lot of players are just going to say, well, okay, I'm just going to cut my losses and just go for the pool first here, get the earlier queen out, and I'm going to be pretty much safe whatever happens. Now this first Reaper is on the way, so it is a Reaper opening despite that kind of bit of an interesting 13 gas timing. Generally you see kind of 12 racks 12 gas, or 11-11, but I think that was a 12-13, so again it was a little bit off-putting to begin with, but hey, let's see what happens as we get ready to see this first Reaper coming across the map. So Reaper number 1 is on the way, and we're going to follow him across here, see what he can get up to. As you can see in the production tab, there is a gas on the way down for Impact, a command center being put down for iaguz as well, so both players just getting set up for whatever they want to do in kind of the mid-game already, I guess, as both players are going to be expanding. This first Reaper is just the one Reaper, worth noting. We see a factory on the way and probably a reactor being built on the barracks here shortly as this first Reaper jumps in, and he gets the information he needed to get, which is that a gas is being built and a gas is going to start mining. I don't think he clicked on it, but he might have seen the drones just transferring into it, so he probably has a pretty good idea that speed is going to be coming up about the 630-ish mark. It's not going to be the fastest circling speed. It's not the biggest of deals either. With only one Reaper, he's not going to be overly aggressive anyways. As back at home again, if we just check this out for iaguz, he's getting that reactor, he's putting his factory down. Reaper does pop back in here. We'll do a little bit of harassment, but needs to be careful. There are 2 queens, and he will just back off right now. And I think the most interesting thing to talk about now is the second gas coming down straight away for our Terran player. So it looks as though he's going to go into a fairly quick Hellion Banshee play. And that could lead into some kind of Hellbat timing as well, most likely. As we actually see, whoa, a tech lab being built on the factory. Alright, well, this is something a little bit different then. I guess it could still just be Hellbat Banshee, but I mean, usually you want to get that factory onto the reactor, which the barracks is built as soon as possible. Start reactoring out those Hellions, which he still might do. Or is he going to build a tank and surprise us all? He actually might, because he's rallying this backwards in a very specific spot. Okay, what is iaguz doing? He is starting a tank. A starport is finished. What are we seeing out of our Oceanic Terran? As a third command center comes down as well. So I wonder if this is just going to be kind of a very safe free command center build. He's getting a Viking out as well to start clearing some overlords. Comes in and scouts with the Reaper, and he will have been able to click on that gas as well. He runs past. Does he see the lair starting? I mean, I guess he must have. So he sees that lair on the way, so he knows that this is a very fast lair. And 2 base mutalisks has been all the rage lately. It's been so popular. We've been seeing it, left, right, and centre in Korea, really. Life has been using it a lot. I remember back, it first started coming back into the metagame a lot, back when we had the finals for the 3rd season of the Team League, where we had Startail playing against Cascade, and I remember Life and Pet, they both used 2 base meter quite frequently during the finals against Terran players such as Strelok and Cass and Complain as well. So kind of interesting to see. I mean, Impact's been a big user of the 2 base mutas, I think. If you've been watching, you know, Elimo League or anything like that on base trade, you've seen some Impact games lately, you've probably seen him go for 2 base muta. His Bane and Nest is about to finish up here. He's making a few more lings, but there is that Spire tech, which we're pretty much expecting to see. If we come back over here for iaguz, it is just a very safe third command center, right? You know, he's just going to put his barracks down. You know, he's basically just skipped the Hellion phase of the game. And this is going to be great against kind of Roach timings. You know, it's actually really great against Roach timings. What it's not so great against is, I think, straight up Baneling Bust, because if a Baneling Bust hits your front door, you know, the tank gets one shot off, but then you lose your depots, and Zerglings just flood in, you don't have many units. But that's not going to be the case here. That's not going to happen. Overseer does come in, and, you know, Impact just scouting. He does see that tank, and he does see that it's going to be a fairly regular setup after this. You know, the 2 barracks are going to be on reactors. He's going to have a reactor on his starport. Extra barracks coming down and double engineering base. I mean, it's a very standard follow-up. He's just kind of skipped the Hellion phase of the game as Spore Crawl's on the way down in the mineral lines for Impact, and this mine drop is turned away pretty quickly. So iaguz not finding a way to do too much damage here. So yeah, this medevac is just finding a way, trying to see if he can get in anywhere to do a little bit more damage. He is going to find a way to boost forwards here. He will be able to start burrowing these 2 Widow Mines. And, well, Impact has to pull away. He's going to lose 1 drone. And he will actually take some damage on the Queen as well. But the Zerglings will clean up these mines, and not too much damage done there overall. This medevac wants to make sure he gets out of here, as he will fly by the Spire on his way out. I don't believe we've got Mutalisks out on the map just yet. No, we don't. So no mutas made just yet from Impact. The first 5 just on the way right now, as we've got Vikings actually picked up 2 kills so far, which is pretty decent. So just clearing out some overlords, and this is going to be really nice as the game goes on, be able to clean up, you know, have them drop paths clear, so things aren't as easily scouted. He's actually going to pick up this 3rd overlord as well, and iaguz needs to save the Viking. Oh, he's actually maybe going to lose it to this Queen. It's going to be very close. Okay, he's just going to lose it there. As Zerglings running back, looks as though they didn't get too much done over here, and iaguz just setting up a few turrets right now. He's 1-1 on the way. He will take a pretty nice upgrade lead in this game, and that's something you generally do see when a Terran player plays against 2 base mutalisks, because the Zerg player, they're investing their early gas into tech in terms of mutalisks instead of their early gas into upgrades. So the Terran player does generally take an upgrade lead, and the Zerg, he kind of makes up for that by doing a little bit of harassment with the mutalisks, keeping the Terran player back on his side of the map. That being said, though, I'm a little bit worried for Impact. I mean, he doesn't really have all too much right now. These mutas aren't going to find a way to do too much damage against, you know, turrets already set up in the mineral lines. And there's an attack coming up this left-hand side. So with 1-1 about to finish, Stim is finished, and Combat Shield's about halfway done. This is a pretty nice timing for iaguz here, but that being said, Impact has quite a few burnings out, so he's got a little bit more than I thought he did. It's still pretty nice. He's actually going to catch 2 overlords here, and 2 overlords going down fairly swiftly. And these mutas are on the way back home, but iaguz doing the smart thing as well and just backing off here, not going to be overly aggressive, not risk something he doesn't need to risk. And as his armory finishes up, we're going to see 2-2 begin, and he's going to stay well ahead on the upgrades. So, I mean, he's pretty much set up for a really nice mid-game here. He's put on some nice early pressure, he's killed off some overlords, he's in an upgrade lead, he's deflected the early mutalisks without too much issue. And he's got some pretty good map control as well. I mean, the map control's fairly limited. It's actually, considering there's been a Viking out early on, considering there's been a Viking out early on, the map control is actually pretty nice for Impact. He's re-spreading these overlords. He's got Zerglings positioned to kind of watch for attacks coming around the map. He does lose watchtower control for a moment or 2 here, but takes it back in just a couple of seconds as well. So iaguz just falling back as well, and I imagine the next time he's really going to look to move out is going to be when his 2-2 is about to finish up. Go for that kind of classic 2-2 timing. Mines are off on a bit of a journey. Don't know where they're heading. Where are they going? Mines, you know, you're not meant to go out on your own. You're meant to be accompanied by the Marines. So iaguz actually going to move out a little bit earlier than I thought he would, and he might just kind of position himself on the edge of the creep here, try and clean up a couple of the active tumors to try and slow down some of this creep spread. Marines sees a couple of things on the tower, but not too much. A scan here will reveal his army, and he needs to get their mines burrowed. And, well, a couple of mines are... Whoa! Okay, the mines don't really hit too much there initially, as them Zerglings are just going to run in, and that Templar just going to fall back. And I think that's the right thing to do. There's no real reason for him to engage before we see the 2-2 finish up. You know, he's at an upgrade lead. There's no point trying to push an advantage before your advantage kicks in. So iaguz just going to back off. He's going to still stay aggressive here. He is sitting 20 supply up, which generally for a Terran player is pretty great, especially if you consider an upgrade lead as well. A bit of a maybe preemptive stim there. He could catch a couple of creep tumors if he wants to. He needs to make sure these mines burrow in time as the first few units start to come through here. The mines are all clumped up. And, well, one of them goes down. I feel as though he got a little bit fortunate there. I feel as though a couple more maybe could have gone down. As the muters sprint forwards, they try and grab a medevac. I don't think they were successful, though. As some Valens begin to crash forwards here. And Jaeger's just going to sit. He's actually lost all of his mines, so I think maybe, again, time to back off, wait for a couple more mines to come in. In fact, Impact feeling as though he's got an opportunity to move forwards here, and Jaegers will begin to split. A couple of mines moving forwards, they will get hit by the banelings, so one of them goes down, the other one manages to burrow. And still, you know, maybe some pretty good set of trades there from Impact, I would say. But as Q2 finishes, this is the real timing for our Terran player, as that mine does actually go down. The 4 is added in here as well and got a pretty good shot on the Mules to begin with. These Marines are going to run out of space to split in, but there's just got enough going to each of the sides now, and they will be able to continue pushing forwards. And Impact, maybe is he in a little bit of trouble? Well, he's got more banelings morphing in. He's only got about 10 or so banelings here already ready to go. And Jaegers will just back off. He's got 3-3 on the way now as well. We see Burrow being upgraded by Impact. That's going to be a pretty cool upgrade to see. See if we see any baneling mines during the game. As some banelings just morphing in. These muters again just flying around. And, you know, the nice thing about this pressure from Jaegers is it's really denying Impact from being aggressive with his mutalisks. You know, once you let the Zerg be aggressive with mutalisks, suddenly you're kind of, you know, you're all over the place. You're trying to defend left, right, and center. It's not good, as some banelings will walk by. And again, mine hit's not really getting the chance to go off. If we zoom out a little bit, get a bit of a better perspective on this split from Jaegers. It's pretty nice here. The 4s in the front are actually getting some big damage on the Mutalisks. And oh no, a lot of banelings connect on those 4s as well, which is not how he wants this to go. A nice save on that last 4 there. And I think that was a really good trade for Jaegers. He's going to keep on pushing forwards with this. 2-2 is just finishing up now for Impact. So that was kind of the worst possible time for him to fight, as this Ling Bane is going to start swelling forwards here. Is he going to have enough to hold on? You're seeing a stim forward from the Marines, and this 4th base is in a lot of trouble. This 4 is going to, you know, being a nightmare for the Mutalisks. He's going to grab another big shot on those before going down. As our Terran player is still rallying forwards here. I think the Mutas are the only thing that's really left, but he's already lost a lot of them, and Jaegers is going to continue moving forwards. This hatchery is going to fall, and the 4th base is broken, and this is the point where, as a Terran player, you're kind of thinking, brilliant. From here, it just snowballs, and a mine hit on the Mutalisks! Impact is taking a lot of damage here, and is game number 1 going to go in Root's favour? Scan comes down, a couple of creep tumors will be cleaned up, and I think Jaegers just needs to kind of make sure he gets this stream of units and gets ready to just go for another attack. He's going to clean up a few changes here. He's got another 4 ready to go, and I mean, this 4th base is still very pushable. The creep non-existent, so it's very easy for him to push straight up towards this base. And it looks as though Jaegers is just going to take a moment to fall back. I mean, 3-3 finishes up in about a minute's time. So he's just going to take a moment here, fall back. Actually going to change the direction of his attack, perhaps. Come up this right-hand side, clean up some creep there. You know, if he could just split up a medevac worth of units over here and clean up some of this creep, that would be awesome. But at the same time, I mean, if what he's doing so far is working very well for him, now this Baneling landmine trap could be what brings him back into this game a little bit. And well, we see these Lings doing a little bit of a run on this 4th base. Kind of nice, but he only gets a single worker so far. And now this 3-3 is about to finish for our Terran, and I feel as though this is going to be the push across the map, which could possibly end this game. Impact is going to have to take some amazing engagements if he wants to take this. The Scan catches the Burrowed Banes, and that is huge, as we're going to see these couple of active tumors get taken down. A lot of Banelings here to begin with. He splits off a few of them, but they're just not going to get the connections they really need to get. They hit off on the 4s again, or I think the mines might have blown them up. Either or, it's not good for Impact here, as the next wave of Banelings is morphing in, but he's forced to cancel his 4th base again. And I mean, for Jaegers, you know, he's pretty much set, even if he just kind of sits here and doesn't do much else and just sits pre-split. You know, at some point, Impact has to fight him, because Impact has to get a 4th base. So Jaegers, he's slowly just pushing forwards a few units at a time, and I mean, again, he's just making sure these Banelings aren't getting good trades. The 4 is going to get some mega shots on these Mutalisks again. Lifts it up, drops it down, nice micro. And, well, I mean, Impact again. He's about 65 supply down, and here we go. Maybe one last hold as he comes forward with everything that he's got, but it's just nothing in comparison to the Terran, and the mines will blow up. GG is called, and Jaegers takes game number 1 in this best of 7, ladies and gentlemen. And Root Gaming go 1-0 up to begin the